Long ago, two men from the Ojibwe tribe were out on a canoe, but the wind was stronger than they were expecting, and they got blown far from the shore. They were lost. A storm raged, and the water got rough. They lost their supplies and weapons. With no food, they had no strength in them to paddle, and allowed the canoe to drift on the wind. They were relieved when they eventually hit a beach, but shortly after stumbled upon some huge footprints.
These must belong to a giant,
one of them said. Yes. Scared of whatever had made these prints, they hid in the bushes nearby. It was too late. They had been spotted. A large arrow struck the ground beside them, and the giant stepped into view. He was so big that a large reindeer hung from his belt, appearing as only the size that a rabbit would on a regular man. He identified himself as a friend.
I wish no harm on tiny men such as you. Please, allow me to grant you refuge in my home. It is not far, and you look tired and hungry.
The men had little choice. They followed the giant to his home in the forest.
Thank you, giant.
Later, in the giant's lodge home, a spirit visited the men. They recognized it as that of the Wendigo. It spoke to them.
You know you aren't the only ones the beast has lured into this forest, don't you? This giant is a man-eater. He has little men like you hidden all around this area. He intends to eat all of you.
Once he knew he had the men shaken up, the sneaky Wendigo went to speak to the giant.
Come on now, giant. These men are terrified of you. Hand them over to me. Let me put them out of their misery. I'm hungry.
You will not have these men. I'll be gone with you.
The giant responded and shooed at the Wendigo spirit. This angered him.
Give them to me.
He snapped at the giant. The giant grabbed a large stick and used it to hit a big bowl that was in the room. The bowl tipped over, and out from it, a creature lay on the floor. To the men, it looked like a wolf, but it was smaller.
Dog, kill this evil spirit.
The giant commanded to the animal. It stood up and shook itself and began to grow. As it shook, it became larger and larger and fiercer. Then it lunged towards the Wendigo spirit and bit and clawed and ripped at it until it was dead.
Good dog,
the giant said, and the animal shrunk back down and crawled back into the bowl it had come from. The two men were amazed. Seeing the men's surprise, the giant told them,
This is Dog, and although he is my pet, I will give him to you. He will take you back to your home if I ask him to.
The men did not know how the animal could get them home, but they now trusted the giant.
Thank you.
Thank you,
This is a truly wonderful gift,
they said. The giant, the Ojibwe men, and Dog returned to the shore. The giant commanded Dog.
Take these men back to their home, and stay with them now.
Dog grew, big enough for the men to sit on. The giant lifted the men and placed them on Dog's back.
You must hold on tightly. Dog will take you home.
The men nodded, and Dog ran into the water and began to swim strongly against the current with the men on its back, still growing as he did so. It was a long journey, but the men eventually started to recognize their surroundings. As they drew closer to their home, Dog began to return to his regular size, and they swam themselves onto the beach near to their home. They walked back to their lodges, but when they got close, Dog ran away into the forest. They told the rest of their tribe everything that had happened, but they did not believe them.
If you show us this mystery animal, Dog, we shall believe you,
the chief told them. After some days, early in the morning, Dog returned to the men. They gave him food, and he allowed them to pet him. When the tribe awoke to see this animal that they had been told of, they were very surprised. They believed the two men. and Dog stayed with the tribe from then on. This is how the first dog came to the land of men.